to introduce our next honoree, Chrissy Gamble, class of '01.
Oh, it's right. Good afternoon. It is such a privilege and truly a joy to introduce my mentor and really a treasured friend that I have in John Sharpe. John has changed the trajectory of my life. And I mean that in a good way, up. It's gone up since I've met him. Since the first day I met him at Cornell, and that was in 1999. At the time, John was the Chief Operating Officer and President of Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts. And at the time, he was serving as an executive in residence. So he was teaching students, and he was also an HEC advisor with his good friend, Ed Evans. I met John at the Statler. So I happened to be working there full-time to make my way through Cornell. And I'd see John all the time. So one early morning, it was 6:30 a.m., I was the opening server in Bamfi's, and he arrived right as the restaurant opened, newspapers in hand, and punctual as always, was the first to arrive. I was still waking up. I was going through the motions, and I refilled John's coffee, my eyes barely open, and he asked me for a fresh cup. I was totally perplexed. I had no idea what he meant. I said, what does he mean, a fresh cup? Like, what does that mean? As I walked to the back of the house, it dawned upon me that his coffee had gone cold, and instead of just pouring hot coffee on top of, the already cold coffee, to bring him a new cup. So a light bulb went off, and I thought, well, we have cups that we store over the espresso machine, and they're warm. So, very proud, understanding he was the president of Four Seasons, I poured a fresh cup of coffee into the warmed cup and proudly brought it over to him. So that was really my first lesson from John, was to make sure that the coffee is hot. But really, it was about so much more. It was about being thoughtful, anticipating others' needs, and just getting the basics right. So as I got to know John through the school, I came to see how approachable he was, how humble he was, and how generous he was to me and all of the students that he interacted with. He reminded us that hospitality is not just about service, but it's about care, generosity, and integrity. John saw a potential in me that I didn't yet see in myself, and he helped me to get an internship at the Four Seasons in Chicago over the summer. This was a turning point that truly defined my career. Today, I have the privilege of working with Four Seasons in global operations, leading strategy, planning, and integration. So we support new hotels, openings, and some of our new ventures like Yacht. I know without question that none of that would have been possible without that first lukewarm cup of coffee and without John Sharpe. Because that's really how it started, and that's how he started, caring so deeply about people, caring about quality, and getting things right. John was one of the founding leaders of Four Seasons. He began in Calgary when there were just 4 Four Seasons hotels, and later he managed the Ritz-Carlton Chicago, which was acquired by Four Seasons. Our founder, Izzy Sharpe, once wrote in his book, Four Seasons, The Story of a Business Philosophy, that John was exceptional. In his 2 years as GM of the Ritz-Carlton in Chicago, he turned a 1978 operating loss of $3.5 million into a profit of $6.5 million in 1981. John was already establishing the systems and the controls that a highly efficient hotel business requires. Izzy also wrote, John Sharpe rose from general manager to president. He was bright, funny, and immensely popular. Every administrative assistant wanted to sit at his table at the Christmas party. And in another life, he could have been a doctor or, with his outrageous sense of humor, a stand-up comic. John helped lay the rock-solid foundation that made Four Seasons what it is today, not only through operational excellence, but through his belief in people. Together with Izzy, he championed the idea that the golden rule should guide everything that we do, treating every person, from executives to housekeepers, with the same dignity and respect. That principle continues to shape and define our culture today. John's influence extended far beyond North America, helping lead the company's growth across Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and South America. Yet through it all, he remained grounded. A devoted husband to Eva, who's here today, and an adoring father to Jackie, Christina, and Ronnie. His work took him all over the world, and when he retired, I'll never forget what he said. And that was, the best part was always coming home. He was successful in his career because he had the best partner in Eva. Their laughter, understanding, and love is truly inspiring. His children, Christina, who's here today, Jackie, and Ronnie, have given him endless pride, perspective, and joy. Christina inherited that hospitality gene, and I always see John marvel about her wine knowledge, her operational know-how, and the work ethic that she's earned working in the restaurant industry. And today, his grandchildren, Isaac and Rowan, bring him the greatest fulfillment of all, keeping up with their interests, which are ever-changing, and being an all-in grandpa is a full-time job. So today, it's my honor to introduce an industry icon, someone who will never take credit for it, but someone that created a renowned company culture and truly shaped luxury hospitality with his genuine heart. He's a mentor, he's a truth teller, and a bonus grandpa to my two boys, Thomas and Mateo. His wisdom, humor, and heart continue to inspire me and so many others every single day. Please join me in welcoming John Sharpe to the stage.
Let's take a picture together with your friend.
Thank you very much, Chrissy, and excuse me, Dean and Ted, all of you in the society, everyone who's come, my wife and daughter. It's a great privilege to be among the honorees. I'm not going to reveal any of the wondrous things that Chrissy said, but really, like Steve said, lots of opportunities present themselves, and some people don't get them. Some people don't have great timing in their favor. Some people don't have luck. But I was able to do that. And when I think about it, the different steps and openings and things that gave me a chance to move up, it's really not remembering those things. My feeling now about the career in the company is really that somehow we evolved over the years to have a group of thousands of people in different cultures, different countries, who came to work every day with a view of supporting their coworkers, uplifting their coworkers, serving the customers. And these thousands of people really were, for the most part, making very little money. We all have concerns about housing and expenses and things, but these people had always had concerns on their mind. What are my kids doing? Are they safe? How am I going to get home and back safely to work? And yet they were able somehow to come together and really create unique hotel experiences for people. I want to tell one quick story, and I may be intruding on Mark, but 25 years ago today, Steve Weiss, Dave Hanlon, who is here, and I were on a search committee for a general manager for Statler. Everyone you hire has to be the result of a search committee. So I personally, I didn't really say it, but I was wondering who would want this job. And I mean, the thing was a mess in different ways. So Steve says, you know, I have a friend that I'd like to introduce as a candidate. And we're there on a Saturday morning, and in walks Rick 80, in the middle of a really fine career with Hyatt. And I'm thinking, geez, why is he doing this? And as it turned out, 25 years later, he retired. He's here today, and he's just, in my view, deserves this award more than anybody. You know, a couple of people have referenced the inscription in front of Statler that begins, "Life is service," and thousands of people walk past that thing every day. Some of them read it, and some of those people sort of get it. And Rick really does, and he just transformed the hotel as a hotel, but also what it meant and what it means to the school and to the students, and to be part of that package to just make it special. So thanks again for having us. We're really delighted to be here. God bless you all. Thanks.